Bratz Kidz Sleepover Adventure was a movie a lot of girls watched when they were little. Released on July 31st, 2007, it was a quintessential movie for us Bratz fans growing up. The story goes that a new kid named Ginger invites the Bratz girls over to her house for a slumber party. Relatively early on in the movie, like right here, things already start to get a little suspicious. We can start with the fact that Ginger's address is 1313 Raven Lane. The number 13 twice, a raven, seems a little sus already. Chloe also mentions that she heard nobody lived there. Sasha mentions that she and Ginger met in front of an old abandoned movie theater. At the end of the movie, after all the others have told their scary stories, they talk Ginger into telling one too, despite her reservations. Score 1 for peer pressure. Ginger finally loses control and she freaks out and leaves the room. Finally, they realize how badly they've been treating her, and they decide to go look for her so they can apologize to her. But they notice that there's something different about the house now. It now looks all old and dirty and blech. Ginger and her parents are nowhere to be found, and a door slams shut right in their faces. They get so terrified they run out of the house. As soon as they step off the property, there's a no trespassing sign that wasn't there before. Looking at the house's exterior now, it's old, dilapidated, abandoned, and just terrifying looking. This place needs to be condemned, like now. This part is clearly leaning to the side, looking like it's gonna collapse at any moment. No one should be walking upstairs in that thing. As the kids are running away from the house and all the scary stuff, they start seeing that their stories are coming to life. They see the woman with the dog, Sasha's doppelganger, the clown. Megan suggests they stay with her, and guess who answers Megan's door? Ginger and her dad. They try going to Chloe's, and guess who's there? Ginger. Finally, they try Sasha's place, and Ginger and her folks are there again, but this time, they're the ones who are terrified. They get so scared they faint. Turns out the Bratz have turned into monsters, but they act like they've always been monsters. Because of this ending that has puzzled so many of us since childhood, I will now talk about the most prominent fan theory. The big fan theory is that Ginger and her folks were actually dead the entire time. It's constantly hinted at throughout the movie. This Redditor thinks they died sometime in the 50s. She used some old-timey expressions like golly and swell. The fact that Sasha met her in front of an old movie theater. Ginger kept dismissing something making an odd noise as a shudder. She appeared to be hiding the fact that it was actually an old no trespassing sign. Ginger would act all funny whenever it was brought up. The ghost theory definitely does sound plausible because it would explain how they kept appearing at all the kids' houses so quickly. Even though Ginger didn't seem like a spirit to the others, she had to have been faking an appearance of flesh and bone, making them think she was still a living physical being. As for why the house suddenly transformed at the end, there's speculation that they were creating the illusion that the house was still in good shape. And once they ran away at the end, the illusion was erased, revealing it as it truly was. Ginger seemed like she just wanted one last chance at a friend's night. She wanted some sense of home and family. Some believe Ginger tricked the Bratz into coming over so she could haunt them. Their stories coming to life may have been her trying to get back at them for scaring her too much. Or it could have been an attempt to let go of it. It's likely that since Jade's story was the one that scared her the most, that's why they turned into the monsters. So, in conclusion, the ending to this movie puzzled so much of us as kids. It's interesting how, when you revisit something as an adult, you notice things you didn't notice as a kid, or you learn things you didn't know before about them. Whatever exactly happened, all we know is the Bratz have entered into that fifth dimension, beyond which is known to man. A dimension as vast as space and timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge.